The internet feels eternal. We touch it every second of our lives, without thinking. A mother's voice traveling across an ocean. A child's homework reaching the cloud. The invisible web that holds our economies, our memories, our very sense of reality. It is always there, always on, always alive. But what if it wasn't? What if, in a single night, the internet simply died? This is not science fiction. It almost happened. And most of the world didn't even notice. The story begins in January 2008 in the Mediterranean Sea. Beneath a restless surface of waves and cargo ships lies one of humanity's most fragile creations. Not a machine, not a satellite, but cables, thin strands of glass, no wider than a finger, stretching across continents. They carry light, and inside that light, every word we speak, every picture we share, every heartbeat of our digital lives. On January 30th, 4 of the most critical cables were severed. Not 1, not 2, 4. Within minutes, whole nations went dark. In India, internet capacity dropped by more than 60%. In Egypt, banks and stock exchanges froze. In Pakistan, hospitals lost access to critical data. And in the Gulf, Dubai's global financial hub suddenly stood on the edge of chaos. What's most haunting is how fragile the collapse felt. To millions of people, the internet simply vanished. The lights went out. At first, officials said a ship's anchor had dragged across the seabed. A simple accident. But then came the twist. Investigators reviewed satellite images, and to their shock, there were no ships in the area. None. The cables had been cut. But by what? This was 2008, a time of rising tensions. The war in Iraq was raging, terrorism haunted governments across the Middle East, and cyber warfare was emerging as a new frontier of conflict. Whispers began to spread. Had a nation-state tested the world's defenses? Was someone probing the internet's hidden arteries, preparing for a larger attack? The official story remained vague, but beneath the silence, experts grew alarmed. Because here's the truth. More than 95% of the world's internet doesn't run on satellites or towers. It runs on just 500 undersea cables, buried in sand, crossing the ocean floor. They are the veins of the modern world. Cut them, and civilization slows, stutters, and stops. And cutting them is frighteningly easy. A fishing trawler can do it. A submarine can do it. Even a determined group of divers could do it. In 2013, Egypt's Navy caught saboteurs in wetsuits, physically sawing through a cable with hacksaws. The nightmare was no longer theoretical. But the most unsettling truth? You've probably never thought about it. The day the cables broke in 2008, life in New York, London, and Tokyo went on. The internet still worked. The crisis felt distant, invisible. But for people in Cairo, in Mumbai, in Karachi, it was something else. Imagine being a trader in Mumbai, watching billions move through markets while your connection dies. Imagine being a father in Cairo, hearing your daughter's voice vanish mid-call. Imagine being a surgeon in Karachi, waiting for life-saving scans from abroad, only to be met with silence. The internet was built to feel infinite, but in that moment, it revealed itself as breakable, mortal. Experts call 2008 a warning shot, and yet, almost 2 decades later, our world is even more dependent. Cloud computing, online banking, artificial intelligence, all of it still runs through those same fragile strands of glass beneath the sea. We live in an age where entire governments could be paralyzed with a single cut, where a storm, an anchor, or a saboteur could push nations into digital blackout. And the terrifying part? Most of the world would have no idea why. So why does this matter? Because the night the internet almost died wasn't just about cables. It was about us. Our blind faith in a system we don't see. A lifeline we don't protect. A world we assume can never disappear. But it can. The next time you send a message, hear your mother's laugh over the phone, or share a piece of yourself with the world, remember this: that voice, that memory, that fragile thread of human connection is racing through darkness, through glass wires on the ocean floor, invisible, vulnerable. The night the internet almost died has passed, but the truth is, the internet lives on borrowed time, and one day, it may not come back.